Alright, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops at Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. It's your brother Rabbi Knapp coming out with a lesson, Lord's will edifying for the Lord's elect. I was just watching the news and I'm saying about something about Donald Duck. He was Shalom Malak, Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakatah. Donald Duck was he was sitting in the Oval Office and they were asking him questions about Portland, and he was saying how he'll do the Insurrection Act if he has to, if shit get out of hand over there. So when you look into that Insurrection Act, it pretty much allows the military to play the part of the police, like brother's always been saying. And that's a prime state to start. I think he wants to start it in Chicago, of course. But you see, Portland, those are some different people out there, man. Those residents out there are out of their damn minds. So that's a perfect ground to, because they'll push you back, they'll get in your face. They're not doing anything. If you can't handle them with the National Guard, if you couldn't stop them with the police, this is why you see this is all folly, because you don't need the military to get rid of these fools there's only like 20 of them. But they're making it a huge national issue, like everyone in Portland's over there doing this shit. Then when you watch the news station was going around asking random people in Portland, and they were like, this shit ain't dangerous. There's nothing going on here. They're over exaggerating the situation. Just because 10 people dressed up as dinosaurs and go get in your face while you do immigration and hold stupid ass signs up don't mean you need the military over there. Okay, but ultimately it's the Lord doing all this, just like He said He was gonna do. All right. I'm gonna finish. Actually, I'm gonna keep on continuing 2nd Ezra 15 chapter. I think I left off at 20 yesterday. I'm just gonna keep going. I'll start there. 2nd Ezra 15 verse 20. Behold, saith Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Libanus, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them. Okay, so Libanus is Lebanon. Okay, all these nations that came against Israel, the Lord's going to gather them together in the valley of Jehoshaphat and destroy them. That's how you're going to plead with them. That's what the Jehoshaphat means. It means Yahweh Shaphat, which is the Lord's judgment. That's how you're going to judge these nations, these heathen nations that got all these military mights. You're going to bring them together and you're going to destroy them. Okay, that's the will of the Lord. We don't need a military. We got Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, and He's going to win. He's going to destroy these heathen. It's the book of Joel, chapter 3. It says the nations will be judged at the top. Joel 3:1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. When He brings back the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, that doesn't mean to put you back into slavery. Okay, that means to restore you from slavery. You're in slavery today. You need to be brought out of that. Okay, He's going to bring you back. He's going to redeem you. Joel 3:2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, or Yahweh Shaphat, and plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So the heathen are in the land of Israel today. That's why it tells you in Luke the 21st chapter that the time of the Gentiles shall be fulfilled. That time is being fulfilled now. Okay, that's who's occupying that land right now. If you had a Bible, you would read Isaiah the 2nd chapter and find out that it said it was going to bring all, He was going to restore the nation of Israel. He's going to bring you back into that land. Isaiah 14. Okay? And there will be no more wars. That's what that's talking about. Okay? Joel 3:3. And they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. And that's what they did with us. They sold us. This is how we were scattered through the transatlantic slave trade and other wars we lost against these heathen. other slaveries we were in captivity. That's what happens when you go to war with a nation and you lose. You lose all your goods, your women, your kids. They're at the mercy of the heathen. Okay, and this heathen, Esau Edom, he ain't have too much mercy on you. And if he did show you some mercy, it was by an accident. All right? Because he hates you, because you have the blessing. All right? So he's gonna judge them in the valley of Jehoshaphat. Joel 3 verse 4, yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your head. Right. Because Tyre and Zidon were Hamite nations. Okay? We made a covenant with King Solomon did. And where they at? Why they ain't helping you? Because they don't give two cracks about you, man. Just because you make a brotherly covenant, that don't mean they have to uphold it, man. But the Lord's gonna make sure He's the one who you make oaths. You're gonna have to stand on it. Okay, so He's gonna judge his ass too. The Hamite nations. Okay. Because under King Solomon, all the nations were our friends. Everybody wanted to be under Yasharallah. When you got your foot on their necks, that's when they want to be your best friend. That's the thing about power. Everyone's cool with you when you got the power, but when you don't have it, watch how people treat you then when you ain't got no power. And watch how they're gonna treat Esau. They're gonna treat him a lot worse than they treated us. We're gonna treat Esau a lot worse than he treated us, I should say. Joel chapter 3 and verse 5, because ye have taken my silver and my gold and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. Yeah, you robbed us, but most importantly, you have his heritage. Okay, Israel as a whole is the inheritance of the Most High. So you have his jewels, all right, and you ain't treating them right. He gave you them. Tells you that in Isaiah the 47th chapter, and you verily heavily laid thy yoke. Okay, so he gonna punish you for that. All right, let me keep going. Joel 3 verse 6, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. So that's us being scattered. Okay, we were removed far from our border. Like I said, through the slavery, through the different battles we lost. All right, ultimately from us transgressing the laws of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You go to Deuteronomy 28 verse 64. That's the way that the Lord did it. He used these nations to scatter us. Just like in 70 AD when we had to leave into the innermost parts of Africa because we were escaping Roman persecution. That's the Lord scattering us, using the heathen nations to do it. But then he's going to use the heathen nations to destroy themselves. And that's what he's going to do in the valley of Jehoshaphat, what's in the Middle East. Okay, the battleground of Saudi Arabia, in that area. Like it says in Joel, the 2nd chapter. All right? Between when he brings the northern army over there to, let me grab it. When Esau sends his northern army, which is talking about your American troops. Joel chapter 2, verse 20. But I will remove far off from you the northern army, which is the U.S. military, and I will drive him into a land barren and desolate. And that's talking about Saudi Arabia. It's barren and desolate because it's so hot over there, nothing can grow over there. You know, they bring artificial fertilizer, all this shit to try to make it look like it's flourishing, but it's not. That's a land that's barren and desolate. Okay? Joel chapter 2, verse 20, it says, with his face toward the east sea, and the hinder part toward the utmost sea. So it's that the Euphrates River and the Red Sea. When you look at it, you got to look on it on a map, and you can see exactly where it's talking about. And the whole land of Saudi Arabia is right dead smack in the middle of these two seas. And his stink shall come up, because he's going to be destroyed. Now, when you look at Esau's commentary, it'll tell you it's the Dead Sea and the Mediterranean. But you're telling me all these nations are coming and fighting that little slab of land? Everyone, Iran, the Persians and the Medes. No, man. No, that's why they don't, that shows you they don't know what they're talking about. Why the hell would they choose that as a battleground when Euphrates River goes pretty much all across the Middle East, and that's being dried up? So these nations, it's a lot easier to just come right across and come right into the battle. Bring your tanks in. You ain't got to fly them and drop them off by parachute. You can just walk right in there on foot. And that's what's happening. Joel chapter 2, verse 20. It says, "And his stink shall come up." Okay? When you get destroyed, that's what that's talking about, man. Okay, you're gonna die over there. When the Northern Army, you ain't gonna win that battle when you go over there. Just know that it's prophesied for you to be destroyed. "And his ill savor shall come up, because he have done great things." And you know that's talking about Esau. You go to the book of Daniel, I think it's Daniel 2. As a matter of fact, just put in great. Just put in great. Daniel chapter, I think it's 2, but it might be 7. Probably 7. If I can find it. Coming up to it. Daniel 2. Nope. Daniel 7:20. It says, "And of the 10 horns, which are the European nations, that were in his head," talking about the beast, "and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell." And that's talking about America. It came up out of the other that 3 fell. The British, the British, the French, and the Spanish. That's who was occupying Babylon in the early stages of it. And then America rose up out of that. With the Louisiana Purchase, with all of that, and now they got all the land of America. They're the ones who came up off of that. Okay? And before whom 3 fell, which is British, Spain, and France. Even of that horn that had eyes. Eyes represent foresight, vision. Okay? Esau had what you call manifest destiny. That's what he called it. Okay? And a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellow. And he's speaking great things still to the day. He's talking about make America great again. This is the Edomite's way of thinking. A mouth speaking great things, but are blasphemies against the Lord. Everything he speaks that's great is blasphemous. Okay? Him making this place again is blasphemy towards the Lord telling you this was going to happen to this place. This place is not going to be made great again. According to the Lord, the only place that's going to be great is the divine kingdom, according to Daniel 2:44. So he ain't talking about that, man. He's trying to make something that's not going to last. He's trying to uphold Babylon, okay, which is going to be destroyed. Esau is going to be destroyed. O daughter of Babylon that ought to be destroyed. That's what King David was talking about, prophesying back then. He knew who he was, showing you that he was a prophet. All right? So when you go to the valley of Jehoshaphat, just know the Lord won't kill your ass. Joel chapter 3 and what was I? And 8, "And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah. They shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord has spoken it." Let me look at this word, Sabians. I think it's somewhere. Sabians. Search web. The Sabians were an ancient Arab trading civilization that flourished in the area of Yemen from roughly 1200 BC to AD 275, known for their control of major incense trade routes and wealth, as documented in the Old Testament, where they appear in the books of Job, Isaiah, and Joel. The historical kingdom Sabah was a Semitic trading state and a major regional power whose decline was ultimately caused by civil war. Okay, that I believe the Sabians is where they say Queen Sheba was from. So Ishmael, okay, Ishmael, man, that's who Joseph who got sold over to. He got sold over to Ishmaelite. So he's good with selling slaves, man, selling a bunch of things. Let me double check that. Was Joseph sold to an Ishmaelite? It says, yes, Joseph's brothers sold him to the Ishmaelites, or possibly Midianites, as the terms are sometimes used interchangeably, who then took him to Egypt to be sold to Potiphar. While the exact wording in different biblical passages varies, the overall account states that the brothers intended to sell him to the Ishmaelites, who were then involved in transporting him to Egypt. So this is something they always been, and then we were in slavery under them again. Okay, during the Arabian, whatever the slave trader was under Ishmael, cutting off our privy parts. So don't think that it's not gonna happen to you, Ishmael. We gonna fuck you up too in there. Okay, you look into how nasty that damn devil was, man. Stinking ass Ishmaelite. Imagine being slave to that fucking devil, man. Good old Uncle Ishmael, man. He gonna get fucked up too when he go over there. Even though the Lord said he's gonna have he gonna get the dragons of Arabia, 2nd Ezra 15th chapter. Lord's why I can finish it. He gonna get it. He gonna gather them together. But they all gonna be destroyed over there. There ain't gonna be no standing military army once the Lord's done with them. And then he gonna destroy Babylon. Ultimately, they're gonna switch up and turn up against the Lord, and he gonna destroy them. Okay, but they're gonna be fighting with each other too, and the Lord gonna be coming. The fire's gonna be kindled. He gonna put them out of their misery. Okay, so ain't gonna be no standing military army. Well, they're gonna have fractions when we come down, but it ain't gonna be like they have power today. Okay, we're gonna take them down. We're gonna gather them, put them in get them out of the clefts of the rocks. And then it's slavery time, man. It's over for your kingdom, man. It's our time to shine, be happy, be in our kingdom, man. Imagine the first week of the kingdom's it's gonna be a little bit of work, but we're gonna have spiritual power. Okay, but the first couple years, man, oh man. I can just imagine the look on your face, man, when Israel's ruling over you. You're going to see who the sons of God are, man. That's going to be so beautiful. I can't wait for that to happen. I can't wait to bust your head wide open with a rod of iron, man. Lord's will I can be the first one to bust one of you heathens' heads, right, just crack, split it wide fucking open, man, in front of everybody. And say, what the hell you going to do about it? Who wants to step up? Who's next, man? I can't wait to do that to you. And Lord's will, he give me the option that probably the Lord gonna do it first, but still. That's a beautiful thing, man. This is what we meditate on. That's what your ass needs, man. You need a rod across your head, man. I don't know what you're thinking about when you come up against Israel, man. That's what the Bible, the apple of his eye, man. You touch the apple of the Lord's eye, man. I can only imagine what he's gonna do to you, judging by the way he treated us, man. Even though we deserved it. You deserve it even more. All these sins you got away with. So I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it, but I'm hastening the day for it to happen to you. Okay? What's that? Zechariah? No, or Zephaniah. One of the two. Zephaniah chapter 3. And 8. This is therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So you got to wait on the Lord for him to do that. That's what's coming to pass. Okay, multiple prophecies are being implemented all at once, all simultaneously. You can see them happening, man. Just because you see somebody wearing a dinosaur suit coming up against ICE, that's still prophetic in nature, because he said there's going to be civil unrest there. He said that the love of money shall wax cold. He said that people are going to be unstable, that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of the time. You see people wearing dinosaur suits and getting sprayed with whatever that shit is, man, with mace, it that's gonna escalate, man. That's why the duck is talking about Insurrection Act, which I wanted to look into real quick. And then there was a guy in Chicago, leader of a Latin King thing, trying to putting $2,000 on the head of the ICE, $10,000 if you put him to death. That's a small wage on somebody's head, man. Whoever would take that is a fucking idiot. Esau got way more money. He gonna start putting money on your head. Yo, you seen this Israelite right here? Yeah. I'll give you 100,000 on your digital credit if you tell me his whereabouts. Imagine how many people gonna be trying to look for that bag. Since you covet money so much, but the Lord said He's gonna lift up a standard anyway, so we're not worried about your attempts to destroy Israel. The Lord's gonna lift up a standard. That's why all these things are happening. It's all on time. And there's more prophecies that are going to be coming to pass too. Okay? Like World War III. Zephaniah 3 verse 9, for then will I turn to the people of pure language, that they may call upon the name of the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, to serve Him with one consent. And that starts right now. That pure language is the Hebrew. We got the Hebrew. We might not speak it fluently, but we know enough to at least call on our Lord. Okay? And that's all you really need right now. You don't need to walk around speaking full Paleo Hebrew. Okay? He gave you that so you can get the name of the Lord. It tells you in Proverbs 18 and 10 that the name of the Lord is a strong tower. So He gave you a defense. So He didn't leave you defenseless down here. It says the righteous runneth into it and are safe. Okay? So we running into that strong tower under the name of the Lord, okay, and being occupied in prophecy, doing what we need to be doing in this time so we can be saved. Because this damn devil's coming down soon. These insurrection acts, that's what he likes to do. He likes to use the law as a form of justifying his wickedness. Okay, that's why he puts these unrighteous decrees out there, like it says in Isaiah 10 and 1. Even though that's talking about Israel, it shows you that's still wicked. Israel is using unrighteous decrees against their own people, making covenants with the heathen. Okay? That's what made us go off. Law ain't tell you to oppress your own people. And now Esau's using those tactics, and the same shit's gonna happen to him. He's gonna get spewed out. He's gonna be destroyed. He's gonna be spewed out of power, out of all nations. He's gonna be gathered up and burnt alive. That's his lot. That's showing the wrath of the Lord. That's his inheritance. His inheritance is death. Okay, but the Israelites, their inheritance is life, everlasting life, rulership, power, forever. All right? Zephaniah 3, verse 10, from beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my suppliants, even the daughter of my dispersed shall bring mine offering. In that day shalt thou not be ashamed for all thy doings wherein thou hast transgressed against me. For then I will make a way out of the midst of thee, them that rejoice in thy pride, and thou shalt no more be haughty because of my holy mountain. So we're going to be changed. We're going to be all right when we get in the kingdom. Okay? We're back into this. Back into 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter. You got something a lot. 2nd Esdras 15, verse 21. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also a recompense in their bosom. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. You're going to recompense them. You're going to pay you back. Vengeance is the Lord's. You don't need to fight. 2nd Esdras 15, verse 23. The fire is gone forth from his wrath and have consumed the foundations of the earth, and the sinners like the straw that is kindled. That's right, like the straw that is kindled. The kindling is what you use to get the the fire. You might get some scrapes of wood to kindle the fire, so you can add bigger pieces of wood and really kick it off. Okay? Let me grab that in the book of Luke, chapter 12, and 49. Book of Luke 12, verse 49, it says, I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? Okay, let's look that up. Luke 12, verse 49. You know, the Valley of Jehoshaphat, that's just the beginning. The real fire is when the Lord's bringing that fire. The thermonuclear missiles and those laser beams from the chariots. Like it says in 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter. In Revelation 19th chapter, he's speaking with a sharp sword, something like that. Luke 12, verse 49 meaning. If you don't know what I'm doing, I'm looking at it in Chat GPT. Because sometimes they can elaborate a little bit better. They can really bring it out. Sometimes, well, a lot of the times, it's really, if you know how to use it, man, you could ask it to give you exactly what you're looking for. It says, Luke 12, verse 49, I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will it be already, if it be already kindled? Hamashiach is speaking metaphorically about the spiritual fire he came to bring, representing judgment, purification, and division. The fire is not literal flames, but the zeal, the truth, and judgment that his teachings would ignite among men. See, now he's going off. Fire equals judgment and purification. Hamashiach came to purify the people through truth and to judge the wickedness of the world. His word exposes sin, causes conflict and division between those who accept righteousness and those who reject it. Already kindled means the fire, the conflict, and the truth of God's word had already begun to spread among the people through his ministry and the work of John the Baptist before him. Spiritually, this verse also points toward the coming Holy Spirit of Acts 2 and 3, described as tongues of fire, which would empower the apostles to spread the gospel, igniting faith across the earth. Now, I kind of agree. Because it all starts with this word, man. It all starts with this word. You know, the prophets have to go out on the scene first, and his word is like unto a fire. So I do agree with him there. I don't know if he's going to bring that. Yeah, he does. That's perfect. Fire represents judgment and purification, for he is like a refiner's fire, and he shall purify the sons of Levi. Malachi 3, 2 and 3. So. Yeah, refiner's fire. That's what this affliction that's coming, these wars, Jacob's trouble. It's like a purification process for his elect to test your faith. It's a trial of your faith. Where your faith's going to be at in these last days. A lot of people are already giving up on the Lord just because he increased your rent for the following year. You know, you went back into the world, went back to selling drugs, you know. That means those impurities are not being purged up out of you, man. A lot of us rather just, hey, suffer what the Lord has given us, man, and not transgress against him. It tells you in Proverbs, the 30th chapter, that, let me grab it. Proverbs 30. And, let's see, I'll start at verse 7. Proverbs 30 in verse 7. Two things have I required of thee. Deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my God in vain. Okay? So, you don't want poverty or riches, man. That's why you want the Lord to feed you what's sufficient for you. If you have too much in this world, you get lazy, you get fat, and you get unproductive. You don't want to be like that, man. This world is here to make you comfortable like a woman. It's designed for convenience, to make you feel, you know, just easily just go back in this world. It's so easy to go in the world, man. It's not hard at all. He'll give you a raise, and you'll be back to being a slave all over again, 100%. Okay? You won't even serve the Lord like that. You're going to be comfortable. You're going to be settled on your leaves like the scriptures talk about. It's that Zephaniah This is Zephaniah. Hold on. I just put leads. Settled on their leads. Zephaniah 1 verse 12. And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their leads, that say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. You know, you might not openly say that, but your actions speak louder than your words, man. The way you act in this world shows you that you settled on your leads. You're comfortable here, and you don't want this place to be destroyed. You know? Your legacy is based on materialistic things that are going to be destroyed, man. It's not connected to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai and his glory. His glory is your legacy, man. If he ain't being glorified, you ain't being glorified. So you're probably not going to get any glory when he returns. You ain't actively out here on the internet putting up videos, sharing brothers' videos, doing what you need to do to make sure the name of the Lord is glorified. That's the most important thing that matters down here on the earth. All this other stupid shit. Excuse my language. I'm trying to stop swearing, but you know, it's hard, man. Because there's a lot of silly, folly, foolishness going on out here, man. And when you filter it through the scriptures, it's all vanity. All of this stuff is vanity, man. Going to work, vanity. Everything is vanity, man. The Lord is not being glorified. That's the best thing you can do. Thanking the Lord, being obedient, studying his word, being occupied in these things. Okay? But if you set it on your lease, he's going to search Jerusalem with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We're all like candles. The men that are out here teaching this word, they like candles. They let their light shine. So the more people that do it, the more likely you're going to be exposed to this light. If you don't want to turn from your evil, wicked way, the Lord's going to see you for that. If you've been exposed and you didn't bring forth what he wanted you to bring forth, he might have gave you an abundance of the Spirit. He might have gave you abundance of knowledge, and you use it. You ain't bringing 100-fold or 50. You hiding it in a napkin. He's going to get your ass for that. Okay? He's an austere man. He's not like the world tells you that he is. He might not be afflicting you like that. That's a scary sign if you ain't going through nothing down here in this wicked ass world, man. If you ain't feeling nothing, you ain't going through anything, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign, man. And you can tell when it's somebody not going anything because he got enough time to go point his finger at somebody else. That's a clear indicator that he ain't going through nothing. You were going through something, you want to watch your mouth as much as you could. You don't want to offend a brother, you know, because you don't know how the Lord's dealing with him. Just because he ain't crying all the time. And if you're crying too damn much about what you're going through too, that ain't a good sign. You're supposed to be taking this cheerfully. Okay, it's like gold tried in the fire. Does the gold want to be purified? Yes, it does. It wants to shine. That's what it's supposed to go through. Okay, that refiner's fire. As it says in Malachi, the 3rd chapter. Jeremiah 23, verse 29, is not my word like as a fire, saith the Lord, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces. And that's what we're doing with this word. His prophets are coming out like candles, shining the light, setting our face against Mount Seir, destroying them spiritually, exposing them spiritually and physically. We can see it through the scriptures. When you match it up, he's the Edomite. Everyone's worried about the Epstein files. Pam Bondi is being, she's at where is she at? She's sitting down being talked to about the Epstein files, this, that, and the third. Pam Bondi, who the hell is Esau Edom? That's who we want to know. Why don't you tell them that? That's what the world needs to know, because he got judgment coming to him. We got a message that the Lord, we're trying to tell him something. Why don't you tell him that? You know, they're talking about all this shit. I can't wait till they start exposing people that are on the Democratic side too. Joe Biden probably on that. All these damn presidents are probably on that damn list. You probably have to go on that list to be the president. to be the mayor, to be any high official here in Babylon. You gotta be wicked to be here and to be in a high, lofty place in here, man. Not everybody, but those most prominent positions, they're wicked as hell. Just like that VP that was with Kamala Harris. When she was president, she was gonna have a damn devil right beside her. She was known to drink fucking horse semen and shit. What kind of shit is that? This is what these people have to do in order to get it back. They'll sell their soul. They'll sell their soul, man. Because they're wicked as hell. And that is the vileness of this place, man. That needs to be cut off. If you're comfortable with these type of damn devils ruling over you, man, you need to be destroyed. That's as simple as put. You need to die, man. Okay? If you ain't standing on the law, statutes, and commandments and the prophecies and doing what you need to do to be saved, man, you need to go. You clearly ain't got any wisdom. Okay? But this word, like I said, going back to kindling the fire, ChatGPT said it was talking about the Lord's word. And, you know, when you really think about it, it's right. You know, but a deeper understanding of it is that that fire being kindled, you start a fire with a little bit of, you know, to just get the fire started. The fire's already going to be kindled. Okay? He's going to really make it happen, though. Okay? When he destroys them with those thermonuclear fire. But it does start with this word. Matthew 3:11, he shall baptize you with the Holy Spirit and with fire, whose fan is in his hand. He will burn up the chaff with unquenchable fire. Ooh, that's some chat, man. Yeah, that baptism of fire, that's what the elect are going to be going through. Okay? Not water, like your Christians. No, the affliction. Like gold tried in the fire. You need water too, you got to cool it down. He's not going to just burn you and burn you and burn you. Now he's going to take you out, let you sit. He might cool you off. He's going to throw you right back in there. Okay? And when Jacob's trouble comes, that's when it's going to be turned up. He's going to turn the heat all the way up. Anything is judgment right around the corner. One wrong move and you out of here. You need to be walking that tight rope. That's the straight gate. Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and keeping your faith all the way up in those last days. In the midst of just straight destruction. You got to be stable in that time. And a lot of people don't see it coming, man. You're just going to be too late. It's going to be too late. It says connection to division and judgment. If you read Luke 12:51-53, Hamashiach continues, suppose ye that I have come to give peace on the earth. I tell you nay, but rather the division. Okay, so he's not bringing peace on the earth. Okay, so what do you think he's bringing the division? When you divide something, that's not, you know, y'all like everyone is one, right? Everyone together. Let's all be friends and hold hands together. The Lord's coming to separate all of that bullshit you thinking about. All the lies. Ultimately, he's going to save who? He's going to save, he's going to destroy those on the left-hand side, which are the goats, which are you Edomites. When you read Matthew, the 25th chapter, talks about that. Let me jump over there, as a matter of fact. That's the real division that's going to happen. Like he told you he's going to do when he returns. Matthew 25 and verse 31, it says the judgment. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. So that's the division. Separating his sheep from the goats. Okay? So y'all don't want that. Y'all want the sheep and the goats to be together. You want disorder. You want the wolves, the sheep, the foxes, everyone to dwell in. You can't do it like that. Okay? Because people are going to die. Injustices are going to happen. Okay? They need to be in their proper place. Wolves have a position. All the animals, everybody has a role down here to play on the earth. Esau mixed all of that up. That's why it's wicked. That's why you don't have an inheritance. You don't own any property. Okay? You don't have nothing here. Continual oppression. Okay? Because we need order here. Matthew 25 and verse 33. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come ye, blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. And are y'all hastening the day for that to happen? Okay? No. You want this place to continue because this is your inheritance. This is what the Lord gave you. And spiritually, you understand that. That's why the word ain't really resonating with you like that. What do you mean there's destruction coming and I can't be a damn demon anymore? Okay, that doesn't sit well with a lot of you non-believers. Yeah, there's a kingdom coming and Israel's going to be ruling. It's the book of Matthew 25 and verse 34. It says, Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come ye, blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee and hungered, and fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger, and took thee in, or naked, and clothed thee? Or when saw we thee sick, or in prison, and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these, my brethren, ye have done it unto me. That's right. Did it unto my brethren, and you have done it unto me. That's why you want to be in that spirit. But Esau, he's not doing that. He's doing the opposite. He's oppressing the Lord's children. Okay, that's why he's not going to be sitting on the right hand with the elect. Okay, the elect of Israel. All right. Matthew 25 and verse 41. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. And that's talking about you Edomites. Ye are cursed, man. We're going under the curses, but we're blessed. You're cursed because you got this judgment coming to you. You're not going to be blessed. Okay? You got the mark of Cain. You're a descendant of the serpent in the garden. You got to get that judgment coming to you. Okay? That's why you got a perpetual hatred for the nation of Israel. And you're going to deserve your due reward to sit on that left-hand side. So the Lord can say that, what he said in Matthew 25 and verse 41. Let me read that again. Matthew 25 verse 41, Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. Okay? So y'all Edomites are going to be destroyed. That's what you're prepared for. You're getting prepared for. It tells you in Luke 14 and 21, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, so they don't rise and build cities. That's you. That's the curse. Yeah, he's going to be a blessing unto his elect. He's going to be a curse unto you Edomites. In your kingdom, all of that's going to be destroyed. Matthew 25, verse 42. For I was hungered, and ye gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me not in. Naked, and ye clothed me not. Sick and in prison, and ye visited me not. Then shall they also answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee at hunger or thirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto thee? Then shall he answer them, saying, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye did it not to one of the least of these, ye did it not to me. And these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into life eternal. Exactly. So you're going to be destroyed, and we're going into life eternal. Why wouldn't you hasten the day for that to happen? Okay, so that's the kindling of the fire. Starts with the word, I agree. But it also starts with these nations starting to come up against each other and go over there to the valley of Jehoshaphat. That's part of that kindling of the fire. Okay? And we're prophesying these things to happen, just like it says in Jeremiah, the 28th chapter. When Jeremiah was speaking to, I forgot who he was talking to in that chapter. Okay, but he was talking to a false prophet, talking about peace and shit like that. He was like, man, prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied against many kingdoms, many great kingdoms, something like that. Okay? And that's what we're doing the same thing, exposing you false prophets, these false doctrines that are out there, and so you acknowledge the truth, putting it together with current events. If you can't see that this place is done, it's because you're through, you're done. You ain't got the spirit of life in you. You got the spirit of death on you. That's why you're saying this place is gonna prosper. Okay? Where was I going? I was thinking of Jeremiah, I can't think of it. Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah chapter 51 and 1, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me a destroying wind, which is the thermonuclear destruction that's coming. And I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. And the fanners are these other nations, these thermal capable nations, these other nations who have thermal nuclear capability, these smaller nations. Okay? They're gonna fan her. They're gonna make the fire's gonna already be blown. Russia and all these other nations and the EU and NATO, they're gonna be shooting missiles over here, and these other nations are the fanners. They're gonna help increase that fire. Okay? And it's all coming here. And the kindling starts with this word, but ultimately the ultimate fire is coming with those thermonuclear missiles and with the Lord returning. He's gonna add to that fire too. He's gonna add to the destruction. He's gonna destroy these nations for bringing the fire. Those thermonuclear capable nations, he's gonna destroy them too. He's gonna take all the crowns from off their head and all authority and power, and he's gonna share it with his elect. Like it says in Romans the 8th chapter, being joint heirs with Yahweh Shai Mashiach. That's what we're waiting for, man. To get back on the throne. When he sits on his throne, then the 12 tribes of Israel, the disciples and them, they gonna be sitting on thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel, the disciples and the rest of Israel, judging you damn heathen. Okay? We're never gonna go back into slavery like we did before. Those days are gonna be over. Because we're gonna have a new heart. We're gonna be changed. Okay? So we'll never go off again. And you perpetually gonna be underneath our feet for all eternity. Where you belong. Like the Lord said, you're nothing. Okay, but you're gonna be used, and you're gonna be all right in the kingdom too. You're gonna be loving to be under the feet of Yasharala. You're gonna love it. Okay? You're gonna love it. You're gonna rejoice about it, like it says in Proverbs 29 and 2. All right? Ain't gonna be no protest talking about get Yasharala out of here. No, you're gonna be begging for Yasharala to be in the midst of thee. Okay? Any Israelite man. That fire is coming. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 23 again, the fire has gone forth from his wrath and hath consumed the foundations of the earth, and the sinners like the straw that is kindled. Yeah, you like the straw that is kindled. The sinners are like the straw that is kindled. Meaning you're going to be the fuel for the fire. Okay? It's that Isaiah the 9th chapter. Isaiah 9 verse 5, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. And that's talking about modern day warfare is going to be caused by those thermonuclear missiles, okay, or different types of missiles. That's the fire, okay. Isaiah 9 and verse 17, therefore the Lord shall have no joy in their young men, neither shall have mercy on their fatherless and widows. For everyone is a hypocrite and an evildoer, and every mouth speaketh folly. For all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. Meaning he still has prophets out here. Okay? So you still got a chance to repent. For wickedness burneth as the fire. It shall devour the briars and thorns, and shall kindle in the thickets of the forest. and they shall mount up like the lifting up of smoke. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to be mounting up like the lifting up of smoke. You're going to be destroyed. You can't have fire without smoke. All right? You need a fuel for the fire for it to produce a smoke, and that's going to be you sinners that are out here, especially in the nation of Israel. Isaiah 9 verse 19, through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother. Okay, you're going to be as the fuel of the fire, it says. And that's what you should be. You don't want to repent. That's the point of repentance, so you don't end up in that fire. Okay? Isaiah 33 verse 14. The sinners in Zion are afraid. Fearfulness have surprised the hypocrites. Who among us shall dwell with the devouring fire? Who among us shall dwell with the everlasting burnings? Yeah, who amongst us, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and speckled birds out there are going to die by thermonuclear missiles? We want to know. If you ain't doing the work and you don't believe, then guess what? Your chances are a lot higher to be in that fire. Okay? Your chances are very high. This is the book of Micah, chapter 4 and verse 1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and the people shall flow unto it. Salakia. No, not Micah. Malachi 4 and 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall leave them neither root nor branch. That's right, man. You're going to burn as an oven. And how you think that's going to happen? You think the Lord's going to increase the heat of the sun? No, He's going to burn you with thermonuclear missiles. Fire not blown, that's what that's talking about. It's thermonuclear missiles. A fire not blown. Job 20 and verse 26, all darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. Tabernacle is your house. It's going to consume you. A fire not blown is talking about those thermonuclear missiles. When the elements shall melt with fervent heat, that's what that's talking about. The elements melting with fervent heat is being caused by these thermonuclear missiles. Okay? So that's what's coming to pass. Believe it or not, it's still going to happen. Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 24. It says, woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord. I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power. Defile not my sanctuary. Right? Defile not my sanctuary. Don't you know that ye are the temple of the Most High? You're defiling yourself by taking the MOTB. Okay? Ultimately, you're not of the elect, but hey, man, it still belongs to the Lord. Okay? It still belongs to the Lord. Second Ezra 15 verse 26, for the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction. Yeah, He going to deliver you, them, to death and destruction. Okay, so which means you ain't going to escape the judgments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Whether He sends you with the northern army in Joel 2 and 20, or whether He destroys you here in Babylon with civil unrest. Either way, you're going to be judged. Second Ezra 15 verse 27, for now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them, for God shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against Him. And sin is the transgression of the law, according to 1 John 3 and 4. So you might want to be meditating on what the law is so you don't break the law. You study to be on the road so you can follow the laws of the road. You stop when there's a red light, you go when there's a green light. But when it comes to the Lord, you just do whatever the hell you want. And you think there's nothing going to happen to you. No, you want to die, man. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 28. Behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth. that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. And that's talking about these Ishmaelites, these Arabs. They're going to be getting together as the dragons of Arabia. Okay, that's what they're already trying to do. But some of these nations, like Saudi Arabia, is so far up America's ass, they don't want to get with their brother. But eventually, when so much shit starts going on in that area, and that place gets destabilized, then they're going to have to pick a side, or they're going to be destroyed with them. And I wouldn't be surprised if they just start going that. Iran already want to get you anyways out of here. Okay, the Saudi Arabians are scared of Iran. Just because they blew up those nuclear sites, they got Russia on their side. And when you listen to Vladimir Putin, Putin says they don't even ask me to come and help them. They don't really trust me like that because they know he's a fucking Ishmael too. But the Lord's still going to have it where Russia's going to be a guard unto them. Okay? Putin said, Iran, even when they bombed that, they ain't even called me to ask for any help. So they already ain't even trusting them like that. But there's going to come a time where they are. Because he's stirring up the spirit of the Persians and the Medes. Or stirring up the spirit of the Medes, I should say. In Isaiah 13 and 17. Isaiah 13, verse 17, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. So they're not gonna, there's no Federal Reserve notes that you can give, or sanctions that you could take away that's gonna allow the Medes to want to be with you, man. They're gonna, at this point, he's just gonna keep going. He gonna destroy you. Okay, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. Just like Esau, he don't spare children. Don't worry, these missiles that Russia's sending, who are the modern day Medes, they're gonna not spare your children either. Missiles don't spare children. Duh. So when you're gonna dash your kids to pieces, especially when they go over there to a land that they know not, that's barren and desolate. You don't belong over there. Isaiah 13, verse 19, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And how did he do that? By fire and brimstone. So that's the same way he's going to do this place. He's going to do it dirty. Okay? He's going to do this place dirty, man. And this is like Sodom and Gomorrah, just like it says in Revelation 11 and 8. Okay, Isaiah 13 in verse, in the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, which are the elites of the Edomites. This is their glorious kingdom here that they use as a cash cow. Okay, that's going to be destroyed. And they go sit in different lands, probably still Britain. Britain fucking ain't got no type of resources, and look how luxurious they are. All this gold and rings and shit, all of it stolen goods. Thieves. That's what the British are, man. A bunch of thieves. No matter how eloquent they speak, when they're at a dinner table, they're wicked as hell and they're going into slavery. They're going to pay for the sins that they committed against the nation of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, that I will watch you outside. Your red ass is going into slavery. Cussing out your niggas out too. Okay? Isaiah 13, verse 20, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there. Neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. And that's talking about here in America. It's not going to ever be inhabited again. It's going to be a desert land. Not even the Arabians are going to come and offer some type of oil or something. Try to make some trade there, sit in the pathways and try to trade. They ain't going to inhabit this place, man. Try to sell you a tent in the wilderness. That's not going to be here. It's going to be doleful creatures. Okay? 2nd Esdras 15, verse 28, verse 30. Also the Carmanians, which are the Iranians. When you look into that word Carmanians. Okay? Raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood. And with great power shall they come and join battle with them, talking about the dragons of Arabia, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Going back to Jeremiah 51 and 2. That the fanners will fan them. Okay? They're gonna fanners of other nations that have nuclear capability. Iran will have nuclear capability if they don't already have it. There was already rumors and discussions that they might have taken shit out of there before it was destroyed. Okay? So, you don't know. You don't know. But the Lord said, hey, they're going to waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. The modern day Assyrian is Esau. Okay? He's in the spirit. He's the modern day Assyrian, the modern day king of Babylon, modern day Pharaoh. Okay? He is that man that needs to be destroyed. Okay? According to Revelation, Romans 15 verse 4, it's written for our learning. If you don't understand that, then it's not for you. If you don't know it, it's okay. It's all right. It's not for everybody to understand. 2nd Ezra 15 verse 31, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. Okay, remembering their nature. It tells you that Ishmael was a wild man. Not only that, it tells you that Ishmael was an archer too. Let's grab that as a matter of fact. Genesis. Archer. Genesis 21 and 20. And God was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness and became an archer. And that's him. That's Ishmael, man. He was dwelling with the lad. Sarah kicked Hagar out. She had to go into the wilderness. Jeremiah 51 verse 3, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth up himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. So that's talking about thermonuclear destruction. That's talking about the fanners. Okay? Showing you that that's what that's talking about. The verse right after it. 2nd Ezra 15 verse 31, verse 32. Then these shall be troubled and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them, and consume some of them, and in their hosts shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. You know, when you're losing a battle, that don't bring forth joy. That's going to bring forth fear. You're already not going to want to go over there. So anything that can increase that fear, the Lord's going to do that. He's going to use the heathen nations to do it. That's what they're preparing and getting themselves ready for. Okay? And the kings are going to be scared too, because they're going to be losing. They're going to be losing, man. Not only that, they're going to be losing over there. That whatever's going to happen over here, you're going to be losing. It's going to be chaos over here. It's going to be chaos over there and over here. And then we know what's going to happen on top of the chaos. The thermonuclear missiles. So how are you going to be stable in that time? You need to have you're going to see it with your own eyes. You've already been studying these things. And when it starts to manifest itself, you're going to understand it. The Lord, he's almost here. He's almost here. That's what's going to keep getting you to keep walking. 2nd Ezra chapter 9. In verse 1, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, and they have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. The same must know it after death by pain, and therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished, and when but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created. That's right, man. Only inquire on the righteous is going to be saved. He said he's going to work and work. And you wouldn't believe it even if he told you. Okay? But the elect, they do believe it. We read it all the time. All right? But I'm going to end it right here. Lord's will, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechak Wadash. Shalom, Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala. Shalom, Malak.